How's it going, everyone? Data here, and welcome officially to episode number 1 of our New York Islanders franchise mode series on NHL 25. In the last one, which I call episode 0, we got an overview of the franchise and took a look at what we're dealing with in terms of overalls, trade restrictions, coaching staff, and everything else to begin year number 1 here on Long Island. Speaking of episode number 0, a huge thank you for the almost 50 comments that came in giving suggestions for different aspects of the organization, as there is a ton of buzz for this series and the challenge that it presents. Some of those comments have been rolling at the bottom of your screen, and others will be featured in a couple of minutes, but no matter what, you can always rest assured that your comments will be read, replied to, and as much as possible incorporated into our decision making. This isn't a series where you watch me playing franchise mode. This is all of us coming together to build a team up, and it truly does take everyone. So apologies for the delay between episodes, as there were many comments to get back to, but now we're ready to go for the first half of 2024-25. So in the last one, we left off with a little bit of a look at the organization, like I said, but more than just who's on this team and what overall are they, what kind of chemistry do they have with the coach that we've been given for year number 1. As we can see right here, we can get a +5 on the first line, with Nelson, Horvat, and Barzal being our top line. On the second line, the overalls drop quite quickly. Duclair, Lee, Palmieri, 84, 83, 82. That line would be a +1. On the third line, Holmstrom, Pajot, and Saipolkov would also get a +1, while the fourth line is Engvall, Cizikas, and Fasching with a +2. Now, should we send down Engvall, save some money, and get Kyle McLean or even Julien Gauthier up here? No problem. That could be something we look at as well. But the forward chemistry is pretty good. It's the defense chemistry where our coach does not seem to like anything. The top pair does get a +3, which is nice, but that's because of the X factors. The actual fit is not great. Pelech doesn't fit anywhere. Pulock doesn't fit anywhere. Romanov doesn't fit anywhere. Dobson has a good fit on all 3 pairs. At least there's that. Then again, Bolzuk doesn't fit anywhere. But for some reason, Scott Mayfield fits every pair perfectly. All right. So right now, if we can, I'm pretty much thinking, do we go Pelech, Pulock +3 and Romanov, Dobson with the 0? Or does Dobson come up, not only taking away the +3 from the top pair, but giving a -3 to the second pair? If we move down Pelech, it would make it a +3, but then could we excuse having Pelech and Pulock both on the second pair, then Romanov top pair? I don't know. We could just give Dobson the power play time and the penalty kill time to balance it all out, but Dobson is our top guy, 89 overall, 24 years of age, and a major question last episode was, with his contract expiring at $4 million right now this season, do we look at extending him ASAP? And the answer to that question likely right now is, yeesh, we gotta hold on a little bit. Because with the new negotiation features in NHL 25, yes, it's great to see how much he's interested in the contract and all that, but if we go beyond 2 years, if we want to do something long-term, like an 8-year contract, even if we give a full no-movement clause, we got to be talking like $13+ million on Noah Dobson, which, as much as I love him, I think that's too much. We're looking at 8x13, and even that I'm not sure if it would go through, because his organizational interest is lower for some reason. So on Noah Dobson, we might actually have to go 1 or 2 years, and then see what happens later on, because as of right now today, 8x13 with a full no movement clause, barely getting any more interest. Well, it does get more interest, but not even enough to bring it down by $1 million or anything like that. It's not doable. On a team where we're so tight for salary, with $35,000 in cap space right now, it's just not possible. All expiring, so Dobson's the big one. Then, of course, you got Brock Nelson expiring, Romanov expiring, Palmieri expiring. It's going to be tough to not only bring these guys back, but to stay under the salary cap, because certain players will be wanting more, and yes, Nelson and Palmieri would likely want less, but they'll still want to get paid. They're still players who are worthy of some solid money. So all that with the line chemistry comes back to our head coach, an A-rated head coach, which is great, but 56% team fit. Look at Pelech, look at Romanov, look at Pulock. It's not pretty. So the options right now are not good enough to replace him, but in the very near future, we'll be wanting to look at that option. Aside from that, I went ahead in my own time off screen and updated the scouting. I fired 15 out of our 20 scouts, and I sent out contracts for 15 other new ones. So I'll take care of that off screen, but we'll get an overall to the scouting staff. So let's go ahead and start things off by diving into the comments left by the assistant general managers in the last one. Definitely a wide spectrum of different opinions on what we should be doing in year 1. Let's start off. The first comment of the series will be coming from Mighty Joe Maple, who says, together, the Data 782 and AGM team birth a new era of Islanders hockey. 17,500 free navy blue and orange bucket hats at every home opener for the next decade. That's a lot of gold press Latinum. I hope there's some good sponsorships coming in somewhere. Mighty Joe would like to see us target Mason Appleton, Mark Giordano, veteran veteran presence, 7th D, Matt Martin getting re-signed, and Yaroslav Halak as a third goalie for any injury concerns. Overall, there need to be some changes, but let's just do some tweaks. I'm open to moving Cizikas, especially as we're fairly limited to so many clauses. Cizikas is one of the only players without a trade clause. Not a whole lot to go into just yet. Let's make some bottom six moves and a depth signing and charge into the season with the new conductors of the orchestra. We can look at making moves prior to January or even December when I think we should extend Dobson if things aren't looking great. Otherwise, I think we just play the season through with a new coach because 53% team fit, yuck. Looking forward to Chapter 1. As always, much love and go Islanders! Thank you, Mighty Joe. So I hear that for sure. We definitely want a new coach ASAP. It's just we can't get anyone as a head coach who's lower than, I think, like A-. And our best option after that would be our B-rated associate coach, or any of the coaches in staff free agency are B- rated at best. So for now, we kind of just got to swallow the A-rated 53% fit. And you know what? Maybe it'll work out. We do still get the +5 in the first line and the +3 on the first D pair, and even a +5 in the first power play unit, but it is true that there are some other ugly fits. Zach thinks that the first year should be a tank. Just sell off bad contracts and recoup some assets, buy in next year's free agency, and replace the head coach. Defense is fine as is, other than that terrible chemistry. I think if Barzal and Horvat play on the same line, play Barzal right wing, yes, and Horvat center, absolutely. Pajot isn't worth the contract, I think, so he should be moved out sooner rather than later. And Engvall needs to go. Whole bottom six, honestly, could use a revamp. Thanks as always, Data, and look forward to the next one. Thank you, Zach. Oscar's comment says that the team is too good to tank, so in year one, we don't really have enough cap space to go all in. It'll have to be a boring season. Make some small acquisitions and hope for a miracle in the playoffs. Lots of different directions to pursue after that. My only wish is that we see a commitment to a certain path, whether that would be getting a cup with Barzal, Horvat, Dobson, Sorokin still in their prime, or a complete rebuild, which would take many years due to the many clauses. Without a clear commitment to a certain path, this team will be stuck in limbo as it has been for the past few years. Great point there from Oscar. I don't think year one has to necessarily be super boring. We do have some maneuverability, but it's true that we got to commit to a path. As I said last episode in the big introduction, the short-term goal is to win with as much of this day one core as possible, the day one squad that we are inheriting. The long-term goal is to become a dynasty with those players that were just named, those players who are 30 and under. Horvat, Dobson, Sorokin, Barzal, etc. Is that going to happen necessarily? Could big trades happen along the way? Yeah, who knows what happens. But the short and long-term goals are clear for now. Absolutely, we need more prospects in this system, but if a rebuild were to happen, I think it would be after the majority of these guys who are like 32 plus were to be gone. As Carl's comment here says, I'd try to go for a cup in year 1 and 2, and then hopefully some contracts expire and you can start the rebuild if needed in year 3. As long as those guys are here and on those no move, no trade clauses, we got to do our best to win. But it's true we don't have a ton of trade value to use. That's why Zimmy says in this comment, hot take, but trade Noah Dobson. In my opinion, with the awful cap situation, I feel like he carries so much value to pick up an elite young defenseman in return with less of a cap hit and even bring in another big piece or finally just have a first round pick or two. Pollock and Pellick are still young enough to be the backends for 3 to 4 years with the core. Like I mentioned, if the right young piece can fit with them and Romanov, it could work out in the long run and then even get some more value back. I know Dobson has crazy potential, but something's got to change. And it's very true that Dobson is one of the only players who's even tradable on this team if we wanted to do that right now. So no trades are going to be happening in this episode, but it's definitely something to think about moving into the end of the episode, which will be at the halfway point of this season. If we're looking at players who just don't have clauses, sorting by overall, Noah Dobson is the only guy down until Romanov, and after that, it goes down to Cizikas. So from players who are 81 overall and up, we have 3 guys without trade clauses. So do I want to trade Noah Dobson? No, I don't think so. But if it's going to be between signing him for $13 million and playing him on the second pair, or trading him for major value back, that could absolutely be something to consider. Like I said, just a ton of comments, so I'll run through just a few more. I'm having a hard time not reading every single one, so I'm going to try and limit myself. JJ Canyon said, excited for the new series, best NHL franchise mode content on YouTube. Thank you for that, JJ, very kind. I think for the rough contracts on this team, I would try and give them short-term goals to hopefully give them an early overall boost. You can look in the player conversations on the left side there to try and give some boosts. I think that's how the new system works. I haven't bought the game yet. Yeah, we can explore that a little bit and make those contracts more manageable. In reality, reality, who's taking Engvall or Mayfield's contract right now? No one. Might be a different story, though, if they're an 83, 84 overall. So that's where some season goals, preseason goals, whatever it might be, could come into play. Speaking of using new things in franchise mode, James says, bravo data. Bravo to you, James. James wrote about like 70% of the intro in episode number 0, so thank you to James for all that. By the way, James Haggins is a Long Islander who grew up as an Islander fan. Just keep that in mind for the future. But some NHL 25 related notes. With the new system, we can try to have some fun. In real life, the Islanders are trying to mold Kyle McLean into the future fourth-line center. So maybe we can ask him to work on faceoffs and play center. The game gave him 67 faceoffs, so that won't be easy, but it's possible. Also, IRL, Dobson plays more like an offensive defenseman and Romanov a defensive defenseman, so maybe we can ask them to change play style, and then by doing so, might improve some chemistry. Honestly, I'm not super hopeful that they'll be open to changing their playstyle, but I did ask the on-call AGMs in the Discord server, link in the description if you want to join the on-call AGMs, and I asked, should we at least just give it a try, even if it'll be no, and I got the big green light for that. So we'll give it a shot, even if they both say no, at least we can say we tried. Trying to skim through this comment quickly from AGM extraordinaire Cheating Heel. Cheating Heel says that our prospect pool is quite bad and there's not a lot of help coming. Cheating Heel would definitely look at the trade block and see if we can pick up 2 or 3 decent prospects that could come up in a couple of years. Then as far as contracts go, if we keep Dobson, we probably need to cheese it a bit, as signing him to 12+ million per year is way too much, especially with how he sims. I also wouldn't want to extend Romanov to an 8-year contract. 3 or 4 years around 3.5 million would make more sense. Also look at getting rid of Engvall right away. 3x6 in the AHL is terrible. Get a bad contract back on a shorter term if need be. Maybe a Dvorak or a Josh Anderson or a Brandon Saad. Someone who's off the books in max 3 years instead of 6. This might just be our biggest challenge yet, and the light at the end of the tunnel seems to be quite far off. But if someone can pull it off, it's GM data. Thank you, Cheating Heel. We just need to make sure we do not hit the panic button and trade high assets like picks for a short-term fix if it looks like things are not going our way early on. I know we want to win with this core, but we cannot do it at the expense of the future, as we'd be left with nothing. I'm eager to see how things go in year 1. Well said, Cheating Heel. Thank you for that comment. And we'll go ahead and close it off. Thank you for your patience with this comment from Pilon, who said, I always get stoked at the beginning of a new series, but I can't describe how excited I am that you are the Islanders. I think McLean is worth a look at fourth-line center if you do decide to move on from Nelson and you decide to elevate Pajot and Cizikas, but I must warn you, Brock Nelson is a huge part of the identity of this team and a huge fan favorite. There would be riots in the streets if Nelson didn't finish out his career as an Islander, along with Cizikas. I also think Cyplikov getting shafted by EA. The eye test when you watch him IRL shows that he's a special player. You don't just accidentally score 31 goals in the KHL, then come to the NHL and start making an impact right away on a top 6 role. I agree, the game had him at 80, I boosted him to 81, still too low probably. You've got some work to do, but I think you can keep this veteran core together long enough to be able to get the scouting team active and get some young guys into the system. Glad to have you steering the ship, GM Data. Let's go Islanders! Thank you, Pilon. Beyond the comments, I also asked the New York Islanders subreddit, what are the biggest short and long-term needs for the organization? And it seemed as though the top replies were, number 1, develop real prospects, let them play, get rid of these long-term bad contracts. And number 2, the team needs cap space. Keep Horvat, Barzal, Nelson, Palmieri, Duclair, Cyplikov, Cizikas, McLean, Romanov, Dobson, and Sorokin. Anyone else is movable. So essentially, don't touch those 11, but anyone else, if necessary, could be moved. I get that that's not the definitive and complete list of all of the untouchables, but I would say it's a good framework to keep in mind. Okay, so wow, quite a few comments. I always go through them like I said. I don't usually take as long at the beginning of an episode, just there were so many after episode 0 that took a little bit longer. Thank you for your patience once again. To begin 2024-25, I think the lineup will look something like this, but it probably makes more sense to move down Pierre Engvall, be a bit more reflective of the real world, and even though Kyle McLean's a 75 overall, let's call him up and see what we can do with some conversations. Can we move him to center, whatever it might be. So first things first, let's go to roster moves. For the time being, Engvall is going to be going down and McLean will be coming back up. I also want to try and get a spot for Foodie if possible in the near-ish future. I don't know, by the time there's a spot for him, is he just going to be done with any semblance of possibility to grow? I don't know. So if I put McLean right here, still gets a +2. Great. That's very nice. Cizikas has 77 faceoffs, but McLean, 67. So as much as he's being played at center in the real world, the game does not recognize that. Thank you, EA. So if I go, best lines in the AHL, no problem. If I go back to the player conversations, let's switch back NHL, AHL, very good. Player conversations. So very first thing we're going to do, oops, still trying to navigate these guys, is scroll down to see, hey, okay, McLean. Season goals for Kyle McLean. Hello, GM Data. We have a fresh season ahead. Blah, blah, blah. Always the same opening message. Here you go. So on ice play, we're going to start looking at, look at his adaptability. It's very low. I could change his play style. It's convincing. But position, oosh. Kyle, what do you have to say, buddy? Change position. Very convincing. Okay. But risky for center. Okay, so move out of the left wing would make him convinced because he wouldn't know what we're talking about necessarily. So it's risky. All right, Kyle, could we play you at center? No. I don't think that's the best idea for my game as a whole. Trust me, I'm better off staying in my current position. Great. What if I play him at center anyways and then try to grow his faceoffs through an X Factor goal? Like season goal. Let's try this. Let's go... let me see short term. Okay, stat challenge. It's only goals or assists. Oh, that's too bad. Okay, let me go to long term. I'm kind of learning this with all of you. That's why I'm not cutting this from the episode. I want you to see it a little bit. Stat challenge. Are they only offering me goals and assists? Okay, plus minus blocked shots. Okay, but it's not offering me face-off wins or anything like that. So no. I will still give him a goal because hopefully that'll improve some of his stats. As you can see, 20 goals, that's too much for him. 20 assists, too much. Be a +15. That could be possible. Give me a +15 or better on the season. But what were his short-term goals? No, there were only goals and assists, so actually, never mind. So long-term goals include those other ones. Unless we go for the X Factor? Could we go for quick? Okay, so hold on. If he wins 750 face-offs, he'll get the quick draw ability. So maybe we put him at center, and even though he's not a centerman, over the course of the year, he could win some face-offs, and let's hope, you know what, it's a little bit of an experiment, it's the fourth line, let's do it. You've been an excellent face-off taker in the 0 face-offs you've taken, blah, 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 blah. Got it. Great. New topic. Can I give you another challenge? No, so I can't give you a stat challenge and an X-Factor challenge. That's it. Thank you, Kyle McLean. Good night. So we'll start him at center, even though he's not a center, and hopefully he wins enough face-offs to get himself that quick draw X-Factor, and we go from there. Next up, we want to talk to Noah Dobson about the possibility of a position change. I think his adaptability is going to be pretty low. Yeah, it's lower than 50%. Position, actually, no, sorry. I meant to say play style. My apologies. And it was very risky, right? I think I saw that. Yes, very risky. Let's try it. And no, I've become a top player with my current style. I'd rather stick with it and focus on improving further. Never mind, Noah, never mind. But for season goals, do we give some season goals out here? Is it too cheap to give season goals and have improvement like that? If we give a stat challenge, I'm going to say 10 goals in the first half of the season. So even assists, 25 assists in the first half of the season. If he does, he'll get between +1 and +4 in passing. Let's try it out. I don't want to cheese it too hard, but let's try just for a couple players to give some goals. If you give it to every player for every team for every season, I do think that it breaks the game a little bit, at least from what I've heard so far. So Noah Dobson, try and get 25 assists in the first half of the season. Now let's go see Alex Romanov. Would Romanov be open to changing his play style? On ice play style 50-50. All right, 50-50. Flip that coin. Yes, okay. If a change of play style will get us more wins, I'm all ears. What are you suggesting? So if we say defensive defenseman, nothing changes here. No, it doesn't change anything. It just would make him defend, but still 50-50 on the risk here. So we want you to become more of a stay-at-home defenseman, Alex. What would you say to being more of a stay-at-home defenseman? No, I know I'm pretty solid defensively, but I simply don't see myself as a defensive defenseman. Okay, so then that's it. He was open to the change, but not open to the position. So it's like you have to go through 50-50 twice. So really, it's 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. So it's really a 1 in 4 chance. It's really a 25% chance, not 50-50. It's 50-50 that he'll say yes, and then it's 50-50 again on whatever position you choose. So it's 1 in 4. Scam. Okay, I guess that's going to be about it. Do we give any goals to any other players? Maybe Bo Horvat, who's an 87. He could be a higher overall. Let's give Bo Horvat a goal, and that'll be it. I won't try and squeeze any more goals or any more cheese out of anything. Season goal, let's go for short term, just for the first half of the season. Let's see what we can do for you. Goals, assists, so at least 10 goals? Yeah, we could do at least 10 goals. But you see, he has too easy of a goal. And then he gets +1 or +2 to his wrist and slap shot accuracy. Should we go for assists instead? Let's go for goals. That's the easier one to achieve. But if we find it's too game-breaking, we're going to stop. We got to try and hold ourselves honest, right? So Horvat, 10 goals. Dobson, 25 assists. And we'll see what happens at the halfway point. Okay. So we'll put McLean at center for now. I doubt he'll get 750 face-off wins as a fourth-line centerman. But maybe there's an injury, he moves up, I don't know. We'll start the lineup like this. Cyplikov's getting power play time. He'll start third line on the even strength, but I might have him move into the top 6 sooner rather than later. If you're curious, +5 on the first power play unit looking like this, and the second power play unit will look like this. 0 for the chemistry, unfortunately, but that's how it looks. Oh, yes, and we want to try and give a goal to Scott Mayfield. I forgot about that because we want to try and boost his overall if he's going to be more appealing for a trade. So let's say a season goal for Scott Mayfield. It'll be a long-term. We'll call it a season goal. We'll call it a stat challenge as well, probably like block shots or something. Yeah, block shots. Can you block at least 1 shot per game or a ± above 20? Let's go block shots. Sorry, at least 2 shots per game? Oh, no, it's 2 different goals. Okay. So at least 1 shot per game gives a +1 or a +2. Blocked shots will give between +1 and a +4. So I'd rather just do 1 shot and get a guaranteed +1 or +2. So block 1 shot per game. There you go. Thank you, Scott. And I said that I was going to stop with that, but one more to Cyplikov because he's also a bit too low in overall. Cyplikov will give him a goal, another first half of the season type goal. And then we're really going to start simulating. Sorry, it's first episode stuff. Season goal for Maxim. Short term. We want you to make team. That's it? I can't even give him a stat. Okay, no, I can't give him a stat challenge. Sorry. Stat challenge to start the season. 15 goals in the first half. But what? How come I need Bo Horvat to score 10, but Cyplikov on the third line is an 80 overall, has to score 15 and get 20 assists? Let's go assists. I don't know. He's playing power play time. Let's give him assists. That's crazy. Is it random for every conversation? I don't know. Okay, let's get the preseason started. I won't bore you with all of it. I'll run through the preseason, and we'll see how the results look at the end of it. Scouts will sign on. I'll start sending them out as well. Let's get into the meat of this episode. And of course, as soon as you advance a day, you got to go talk to the coach, Tim Hale. Timmy, how are you? Hello, GM Data. Together we have a great opportunity to lead this team. So either I leave that to you, management morale goes up by 10, which does that really change my life that much? Or I tell him, what are your thoughts on this roster? Let's discuss what our preseason focus will be. I mean, I'm not even saying I disagree with you. I'm just saying I want to talk to you about what your goals are. That doesn't give him morale plus. But I don't see any benefit in speaking to him about the goals. Because anything that I say as GM will be, oh, you're undermining me as coach. I have less morale now. So you know what? Fine. I'm going to leave that to you. I'm going to leave it to you. Okay, Tim, I'll leave it to you. Here's your little +10 of management morale, and let's see where that brings us. Because anything that I tell you is going to upset you, as we learned when we looked through franchise mode. So I'm going to leave it to you. Let's get through the preseason. Last game of the preseason now. Things have been looking very good. We're 5-1 through the first 6 games. Final game here against the Washington Capitals. We'll put Varlamov between the pipes. He only started 1 game so far. This will be his second start. First period, 2-0 Capitals. Second period, 3-2. Get a couple goals there from Barzal and Cizikas. Third period, down by 1. Shots pretty even. Can we finish off with a 6th win in 7 games in the preseason? Power play Islanders, and it's Ryan Pulock with a power play goal to tie it up for the final game of the preseason here in the GM Data era. We're about to get started on the first season of what is hopefully 25 more to come now. Power play Capitals killed off. Final 3 minutes. Tie game it remains. Who has the winner for us with 20 seconds left? We're off to 3-on-3 overtime. Shots end 35-30. Varlamov standing tall since that first period. Final minute and having the Islanders take it. It's Casey Cizikas with the overtime winner. 4-3 Islanders to finish with a 6-1-0 record through 7 games in the preseason. Love that. Let's take a second to look at the numbers. Even though, of course, we take them with a grain of salt, we can still look at them and see if there are any emerging trends, perhaps. 10 points in 7 games from Matty Barzal, 10 from Bo Horvat as well. Love that. Brock Nelson, 5 goals and 7 points in 7 games. Duclair, Cizikas, 6 in 7. Okay. Playing 11-16 per night. Palmieri, 4 goals, 5 points. Cyplikov, 5. McLean, 5 points. All right. Pajot, 5 assists. Pulock, Mayfield, so slow in the menus here. Fashing, no goals for Anders Lee, the captain. Injured, playable injury right now. Plus minuses don't look horrible either. Okay, and goaltending was outstanding. Sorokin 4-1, 924 save percentage. Varlamov 2-0 with a 919. All right, so this could that could absolutely mean nothing as the season starts and both goalies just fall off a cliff. But hey, we'll give it a shot. We said we wanted to think about trades like in the Pierre Engvall for Josh Anderson kind of category before the season gets started. I'm not sure if we'll do them absolutely here on day one. We can consider it a bit more seriously towards the end of this episode at the halfway point. But just to throw it out there, Pierre Engvall's value is pretty much non-existent right here. And if we were to try to trade him, let's say to the Montreal Canadiens, okay, yeah, discard trade to the Montreal Canadiens for one of those bad contracts. And they were 1-6 in the preseason. Maybe a Brendan Gallagher, maybe a Josh Anderson, maybe a Christian Dvorak. Sorry, rookie skater. Skater's matching the block. Nobody. If I went manually, yes. So here are those three contracts right here. Would they all be open to joining the Islanders? Yes, all three of them would be open to joining our team. But yeah, 3 years at 6.5 would be tough to manage. I'd rather take 6x3 than 3x6. As of today with our cap situation, but maybe next year that'll be a different story. We'll consider trades more seriously at the end of this episode. So there's the preseason. The team is set. We look very good at a 6-1 record. Maybe something special's in the air here on Long Island. Let's sim the regular season now to get started. Game 1 of year 1 of the GM data era. 2024-25 season. Let's get it started against the Utah Hockey Club at UBS Arena. So let's sim to the next game here. Let's go up to October 10th, I believe it said it was. Yes, October 10th. Hosting the Utah Hockey Club before we go on a little road trip, it looks like. So I'll fix up the scouting and we'll get ready for game 1. All right, that's done. Now let's finally get to it, ladies and gentlemen. The first game of the GM data era here at home at UBS Arena, the season opener, the home opener, hosting the Utah Hockey Club, playing them for the first time in franchise history. Let's do it. First period, and it's 2-0 Utah early. Nick Schmaltz scores twice on Ilya Sorokin. 2 goals on 7 shots. There's that preseason form. Second period, and it's 5-0 Utah. Oh boy, Keller scores twice. Schmaltz completes the hat trick. 5 goals on 18 shots. 90 overall Sorokin. He'll be lucky to have a 900 save percentage, probably. 5-0 after 40. Can we get the first goal of the season? Or there we go. Fashing down on the 4th line gets the first goal to break the shutout. Clayton Keller. Is that a hat trick for Keller too? Hat trick for Keller and hat trick for Schmaltz. 6 goals on 23 shots. You love to see it. Let's call it there. 7 goals on 28 shots as Clayton Keller scores 4 goals. What was this? 3 goals and 6 points from Nick Schmaltz, 4 goals and 6 points from Clayton Keller, and a 35 save performance from Connor Ingram. Just casually the best game in Utah, Arizona, Winnipeg history right there. For a 7-1 loss in game 1 of the season. Great, nice 750 save percentage for Ilya Sorokin. Okay, let's completely forget that ever happened and head over to the American Airlines Center in Dallas and sim through this game. Oh my goodness, what was that? That was more than shameful and more than disgraceful. I'm not sure. Someone opened up the thesaurus. I don't know what that was. All right, first period, 2-0 Dallas. There you go, nice start. 2 goals on 12 shots past Sorokin, Harley and Sagan. Okay, second period, 3-2. Okay, we scored 2 goals. We actually won a period. Horvat and then Nelson like 9 seconds later. That's great. Stankoven adds a power play goal on Varlamov, who finally comes in. Shots are 25-23 in our favor. We're down by 1. Let's go. Blake Wheeler signed in free agency. But Kyle Palmieri answers right back to Jake Ottinger in his new extension just signed. Let's go. 13 minutes left. We're out shooting the Stars. Power play Dallas now, though. We kill it off into the final 10 minutes. It's Bo top 50 Horvat. Big Bo ties it at 4. Power play Dallas. Killed off. There we go. 3 minutes, tie game, tied in the shots, 90 seconds. Are we going to see overtime? And yes, we will. Shots end 37-36 in our favor. Overtime action, big comeback to tie it at 4. Can we push it to a 2-point effort for the win? Off to the shootout. And in the shootout, Dallas takes it. Wyatt Johnson scoring the lone goal as we lose 5-4. All right, I guess slow simming is just not our thing. Let's get to the calendar simulation instead. Let's get going for a few games here. Let's go see our next home game. Let's sim 2 more games on the road, Colorado and then St. Louis. Boy, the Avalanche shut us out 4-0, and the Blues beat us 5-4 in the shootout. We're 0-2-2 to start the season against the 5-0 Canadiens. Yeah, we were 6-1 in the preseason, and they were like 1-6, right? Oh my goodness, what? We gotta at least change the lines. Speechless here. All right, first line with a +5. 1 goal from Nelson. 2 goals from Horvat, 3 assists from Barzal. So, goodbye to that first line. Brock Nelson coming to second line center. Duclair, let's put you first line. Duclair, Horvat, Barzal with a +2. Lee, 2 goals, 10 penalty minutes with a -4. Palmieri there. Saiplikov, no points, -3. Okay, Saiplikov's coming up to play with Lee and Nelson. Palmieri will go down to play Pajot, -2. Holmstrom. Casey Cizikas, 3 points. McLean, nothing. Hudson Fashing with a goal and an assist. All right, Holmstrom down with Cizikas here, maybe. Let's get Cizikas up. I don't know. Let's just mix and match a little bit, okay? Defense, how we looking on defense? This will be our strong point. +1 and 0 for the top pair. -2, -2 for the second pair. No points for Noah Dobson. -3, -3 for the third pair. Okay, Scott Mayfield coming out for Mike Riley. Don't care that it's a -2. And goaltending, Sorokin with an .853 save percentage. Love it. Varlamov going to get next game. Oh boy, here we go against the Canadiens, hosting them after a 7-1 loss in the home opener to start the season. Now we now get another opportunity at UBS Arena to not get absolutely embarrassed. Here we go, first period, and it's 1-0. We finally have a lead. Saiplikov in the top 6, there you go, against Samuel Montembeault. Second period, 1-1, Cole Caulfield ties it up. Shots 21-19 for the Islanders. And it's all tied with 20 minutes to go. Power play Canadiens to start the period. We kill that off with 15 minutes left now. Final 12 minutes. Outshooting 29-23. Into the final 10. Still a 1-1 game. Both Varlamov and Montembeault making big saves here. Final 5 minutes. Power play Islanders. Killed off by the Canadiens. Final minute. And we're off to overtime. Shots end 34-31 for New York. Let's go. 3-on-3 overtime action. Final minute. Will we see another shootout? Yes, I think the third shootout of the season already now. And in the shootout, the Canadiens win. 0-2-3 with 3 shootout losses to begin the season. Probably couldn't have a worse start than this. I don't think you could have a worse start than this. But if that's what this team is, then that's what this team is. We'll keep mixing, we'll keep matching. At the halfway point, we'll know more. Let's keep going let's get another, I don't know, 2 weeks or something. Let's see what storylines unravel. Detroit, first win, question mark? Nope, 5-3 loss. New Jersey, Devils 4-2 loss. Panthers 6-1 win, our first win of the season. And we have back-to-back wins. So we are 0-4-3 in our first 7 games. Doesn't get worse than that. Then a 6-1 win and a 2-1 win. All right, Blue Jackets in Columbus on the road, 3-1 loss, 2-5-3 against the 3-5-2 Sabres. Who do we want to see? I don't know. I just want to sim. When the record's this ugly, let's just sim. In Buffalo, a 3-2 overtime loss. Anders Lee, upper body injury. All right, this gives us an opportunity for some line changes anyways. What's up here in the top line? Duclair, 2 goals in 12 games. Bo Horvat, 4 goals, 9 points. Barzal, 7 assists. Nelson, 3 goals. Saiplikov, okay. Saiplikov going to go to the top line. I don't know what to say here. Saiplikov, top line. Second line, Palmieri, Nelson, and Duclair. Fourth line, what's up here on the fourth line? -3, -2, -3 from Fashing. I don't know. Simon Holmstrom, 2 assists, -3. Cizikas and Pajot can stay, I suppose. Yeah, okay, +4 from Cizikas. That's good. All right, Holmstrom's going to come up, and Julien Gauthier will come in on the fourth line. On the power play, I doubt the power play is doing anything special at all, so just throw whoever up here. Give Romanov some ice time. Why not? Romanov. And now what? Edit strategies. Why? Saiplikov was always the finisher. Why did it change the finisher? I don't know why. And goaltending, here we go. Sorokin, .872 save percentage for the 90 overall with 5-star everything. Varlamov, .918 save percentage. At least there's that. So we'll have him start more often. And for the defense, Mike Riley. How you doing, Mikey? 8 games, 1 assist, -3. What a shame. What a shame. Back to simulating now with Anders Lee out of the lineup. Okay, he's already back now. 5-2 loss, 2-1 overtime loss, 6-1 win. Anders Lee is back. Let's leave him out for one more game here against the Devils, as we seem to have a nice win there, 6-1. 5-2 loss. Come on! No, I'm not calling it a lost season yet. I am definitely not calling it a lost season yet. GM Data is not calling it a lost season. Okay, first things first, Pierre Engvall, we're going to call you back up. What are you up to here? Okay, he has 12 points in 12 games in the AHL. Good. Pierre Engvall, you're coming up. Liam Foodie, how are you doing? 7 points. Okay. Pierre Engvall's coming up. And in the NHL, who's going down? Gauthier, 3 games, 2 points. Cool. Fashing. Actually, does anybody have to go up? Yeah, somebody does have to go. And actually, I forgot about how we said in free agency, we wanted to think about Yaroslav Halak as a third goalie. I forgot about that. Because I know Mason Appleton's a trade target, according to Mighty Joe. But in free agency, we were looking at Mark Giordano or Yaroslav Halak. But for right now, I'm going to try sending down Mike Riley. 77 overall at $1.25 million. I don't think he'll get claimed. So I'm going to try sending him down, and he doesn't. Good. He makes it through. So Fashing's going to come out for Engvall. Engvall's going to move up to the third line. And Holmstrom will play fourth line with Gauthier, Julien, +2. Okay, we'll keep that. And on defense, we'll bring Scott Mayfield back into the fold. On defense, do we have to change something else? Points-wise? Yeah, come on! All right, we're going to try what we said initially at the start of the season. 0 +3 instead. Romanov, Dobson, top pair. Pelech, Pulick, second pair. Sorokin, 883. He's got to turn it around. If not, we got to bury him. I don't know what. Put him on waivers. I don't know what in franchise mode. What do you got to do with these guys? What needs to be done in franchise mode to get a high overall goalie to just simulate? Oh my goodness. I didn't want to go AHL. We're 6-5-1 in the AHL. I'm going to call up Skarek instead to play. All right, here we go. On the road against the Edmonton Oilers. We are 7-5? Oh my goodness. Ridiculous. First period, 0-0. Second period, 2-0 Oilers. Sorokin, 2 on 23. I'm going to turn off auto goalie rotate and keep Varlamov for the next 20 games. I promise you that's what I'm going to do. Romanov on the top pair gets a goal. Come on! Where's the offense? I understand it's not a high offense team, but where's any offense here? Thank you. Kyle McLean and Alex Romanov get our 2 goals to tie this game at 2. Then Draisaitl gets a third. There we go. 3-2 now for the Oilers. Down by 1. Final minute. No one has any passion, and we lose. Speechless. Okay. That wasn't even Sorokin's worst game, but I don't care. Auto-rotate being turned off, and Varlamov getting the next, 10 starts. Anders Lee is also healthy, so I'm going to bring him in over Simon Holmstrom. He's going to sit. He has not been good. Meanwhile, Gauthier has 3 points in 4 games, so, all right, keep him out there. Engvall, Pajot, and Lee will be the third line, and we'll go from there. Is it just the slow? No, it's not just the slow sim, but let's go to the next game here on the road against the Vancouver Canucks. Our team from NHL 24. Let's go see them. Battle of the franchise modes. Varlamov getting the start. Here we go. First period, 3-1. Okay, Duclair, Nelson, and Palmieri. Thank you. Something. Second period, 3-2. Brock Besser. Potential trade target. A UFA next season, maybe. Power play Vancouver to start the period. Extended Vancouver power play. 7 minutes of power play that we kill off. Great. But what are we going to do with that? Thank you, Brock Nelson with his second. 4-2 Islanders now. Can get our first win of the slow sim. 5 minutes to go with a 2-goal lead. And thankfully, that will be enough. Horvat adds the empty netter, and we win 5-2. Let's go, gentlemen. Let's go. Let's see who has some passion here. I'm not going to keep you on this team just because you have a no-trade clause. If you have 0 passion, I'm going to look to move you if I have to. 5-2 victory. Let's move to the calendar. Let's just sim 2 weeks and see where that brings us. Here we go. On the road against the Seattle Kraken, 3-2 win. All right, back-to-back wins for just the second time this season. Can we make it a third against the Flames on the road? Yes, 4-3 overtime win. 4-2 win, that's 4 in a row. St. Louis, 4-1 loss. All right, breaking it, understandably. Anders Lee injured again. All right. Cizikas will come up, and Holmstrom will come back into the lineup. 1 goal, 4 assists, -1 in 16 games. Versus Fashing, 2 goals, 2 assists, -2 in 15 games. I don't know, I'm going to try Fashing, maybe. I'm going to try giving Fashing a chance here with McLean and Gauthier. And hey, what? McLean has the X Factor? Still with 67 face-offs. But he didn't win. That's a glitch right there. He didn't win 750 face-offs, nor has he won 750 face-offs even in his career. He's 46.67% on the dot. Now that's a glitch. That's a glitch right there. There you go, little EA Sports. It's in the game, everybody. And even Engvall, now a sore hip. Okay, so Gauthier will come up now, and Holmstrom goes to the fourth line. All right, back to the calendar. Can we pause the calendar? Okay. So then it was an 8-3 loss and a 5-1 loss. So those 4 wins in a row meant nothing. Let's go another couple of games, 3 games. Capitals on the road, 7-1 loss. Yep. Buffalo Sabres, not sure what that was. And Andersley fully healthy here for the Canadians on the road. 2-1 shootout loss. And we lost 6-5 against the Sabres. So we're 7, 13, and 6 through 26 games. What a real embarrassment. Plus minuses. Negative 15? You almost made me choke. Negative 15 on the first line? 2 goals from Matty Barzal? No. No. Ça fait pas du sens. It doesn't make sense. Does not make sense whatsoever. Okay, Brock Nelson back to the top line. We gotta break up Horvat and Barzal, maybe? I don't know. Nelson, Horvat, Barzal. Let's give that a chance first. Pajot's gonna move up to second line center. 13 assists, okay. Playmaker. Duclair, 4 goals only. Palmieri, 7 goals. Cizikas, 7 goals. Okay, Cyplekov's coming down to the third line now, sorry. Gauthier back to the third line. How's he doing? 7 points in 14 games. Okay. Holmstrom got 1 assist in that time. Fashing got a goal and an assist. All right, so Holmstrom back out. Lee's going to come in. He's going to center the third line. Unless Cizikas has better faceoffs. No, Lee has better faceoffs at 78. Cizikas, Lee, Cyplakov. Great. Defense, how we doing? -9, -7, -4, -8, -1, -3. Let's forget the pluses then. Pelech, Romanov, top pair. I don't care about the -3 on the second. Romanov, Pelech, second pair. That's what we're going to do. Varlamov, how you doing? 895 save percentage. Let's get Sorokin in a little bit. Let's give him a few starts after he got benched for a little while. Okay, back to the calendar. Let's go a week to the 17-7-2 Blackhawks. Here we go. Seattle Kraken at home. 1-0 shutout victory. Welcome back, Ilya Sorokin. 1-0 shutout victory. Okay, there's a start. Carolina, 2... What? Back-to-back shutouts from Ilya Sorokin. Welcome back to the lineup. That's what he needed to get, I guess, for a wake-up call. Fashing, I'm going to take Fashing out, I suppose, for Engvall, because Engvall was looking good. Was he? A goal and an assist in 8 games in the AHL. He was looking good. We'll keep him on the fourth line. Cizikas, Lee, Cyplakov can stay third line. Okay? Let's do that. Back out. I don't know what the results of the Ottawa game were. 4-3 overtime win, 4-2 win. So since Sorokin has come back, it is a 4-game win streak. I don't want to touch anything. Let's keep going in the calendar sim. At home against the 17-7-4 Blackhawks. 6-1 win! Okay. Okay, hold on. Hold on. We're not done yet. 5-1 win. Okay. And then Bo Horvat's injured. Oh, my. Oh, boy. Okay. So, probably Barzal or Nelson to center. I don't know if I want to bring Pajot up to first line center. Nelson, 76 faceoffs. Barzal, 77. Okay, so Barzal's going to go center. How are the wings looking here? Still only 4 goals from Duclair. Palmieri's going to come up to the first line. Nelson, Barzal, Palmieri. Second line, Cyplakov, -12. What an embarrassment to the profession. Could Lee come up instead, actually? Yeah, let's have Lee come up. Cizikas will go center. Engvall, he got a goal. Okay, he'll come up. And Fashing will go here. But then we have... Actually, no, I don't want to replace in all lines, though. He's not out for long, but still, I don't want to do that. So Barzal will center here. So Gauthier, you've been impressing me. Julien, you're getting a power play opportunity here. And on the penalty kill, Fashing. You can stay for the +4, why not? But Cizikas will go center. Thankfully, it's not a long injury, so I'm not going to kill myself for a million line changes. Can we pause the sim for a moment, please? Thank you. 5-1 win, so then a 2-1 loss against the Hurricanes. Close game to break the win streak. Horvat should be back in, like, 5 games, so yeah, it's worth it. So that was a 3, 4, 5, that was a 6-game win streak. We could still salvage something. We could still salvage something. On the road against the Maple Leafs, who are 12, 18, and 3. Fashing, okay, head coach replaced player then. He's injured too. And now actually, no, I thought he was out longer. Okay, Bo Horvat is healthy. Great, even better. So, yeah, Bo's going to come right back in easy. But the menus are so slow, I'm just going to have to edit it out. All right, lines are back to how they were when we went on that little win streak. Very good. Let's get back to the calendar. We're 13, 14, and 6. So a 3-2 win since we restarted with Bo Horvat back in the lineup. Very good. I'm a few days late. I'm just going to go update my scouting, and we'll get back. We're back to 500, 14, 14, and 6. Big game here against Buffalo. Let's get back in just a second. All right, that's done. Trying to go above 500 now for what? The first time this season? It's a grudge match. Last game we won 6-5. Season record, it says 0-2. But does that mean 2 wins for us and none for them? Yeah, it must be. So 2 of our 14 wins have come against the Sabres, who are a 17-12-5 team. It's a grudge match. Casey Cizikas was first star of the game last time with 2 goals. Here we go. All right, to try and go above 500 here against the Sabres. First period, 1-1, Thompson and Gauthier. Power play goal from Julien Gauthier. Forgot to get him back off the power play. Isn't that right? Because now everyone's healthy. Yeah, Barzal scores, make it 2-1. Then it's tied 2-2 with Jack Quinn. Third period, shots 24-20 in our favor. Third period, it's Jack Quinn with his second now. But then Noah Dobson ties it right back up, 3-3 game. Let's get above 500. Let's close out this episode with some sort of semblance of some sort of hope. Come on, power play Sabres is killed off. We have momentum back in our favor. Shots tied at 31. Final 3 minutes. Next one's the winner. Is it going to be another slow sim overtime? And well, here comes the shootout loss. All right, overtime. 3-on-3 action with a 3-3 game. Final minute, 48 seconds. And here's the shootout loss. And oh, it's a shootout win! Nelson and Duclair as we take it 4-3 in the tir de barrage. We'll take that. Above 500 for possibly, I'm very certain, I think, the first time this season, 15, 14, and 6. You know what? Julien Gauthier, stay on the power play, man. Stay on the power play. It's Bo Horvat that's off, though, eh? No, I should probably put Horvat back, but maybe we can find someplace else for Gauthier. Man, this guy's 11 points in 23 games. He's a machine. So I'll put... Actually, yeah, Duclair is the one who's not helping this unit at all, probably. The guy has 4 goals. How many power play goals do you have? 0 power play goals, 1 power play point. All right, so Gauthier's going to go with the point. Bo Horvat's coming in, and Duclair will move out. And, I don't know, Pajot or Palmieri is going to leave the power play. 5 power play points for Pajot. Palmieri's going to stay. Yeah, Pajot's going to leave that spot. Pajot will come out for Horvat. And you know what? Saiplikov with 70 faceoffs will play center. Not ideal, but let's just try and do something. I imagine that our power play percentage right now is abysmal. We'll check at the halfway point. So let's try and change something up before we take a look. 35 games played. We're almost at that halfway point. Couple games against the Penguins coming up. Couple games against the Maple Leafs after that. Let's do it. No, thank you. Jared Tenorti, no, thank you. Fasting is healthy. No, we'll continue for now. All right, back-to-back, home and home here against the Pens. At home and then on the road. Pittsburgh at UBS Arena, 5-4 shootout win, and then a 4-1 loss at PPG Paints Arena. And then an overtime win, 4-3 in Toronto. This is game 39-40. The halfway point comes against Vegas. So 2 more games here. Hosting the Maple Leafs. After beating them 4-3 in overtime, we lose 6-3. That's how it is. 1 win, 1 loss. 1 win, 1 loss. 4-1 win against the Bruins to be officially 2 games above 500 now. 18, 16, and 6 is our record. To finish it off here against the Vegas Golden Knights to officially call it the halfway point. Okay, what a journey it's been. First period, Eichel and Barzal. Second period, 2-1 Vegas, Mark Stone on the power play. Shots are 27-17 for Vegas through 40 minutes. Bo Horvat ties it at 2. Let's go. Anthony Duclair makes it 3-2 now, from down 2-1 to up 3-2. Can we go 3 games above 500 maybe? Let's go. Nicolas Roy ties it at 3. And then Tanner Pearson right back. Back-to-back for us, then back-to-back for them. 4-3 Vegas, down by 1 with 5 minutes to go. Do we have a hero on game 41? And with 48 seconds left, Hannafin adds the empty netter. Shots end 37-30, and Vegas wins it 5-3. So at the halfway point, oh boy, we were on pace for an ugly 36, 34, and 12 record. That will not be enough to make the playoffs. We currently sit outside of the wild card as well, with 2 games in hand over the Penguins, who are a few points above us. Let's pause to check things out in team stats, the player stats, and definitely can't wait to hear your suggestions for not only what are we going to do, but what is our direction? What is the direction for this team into the second half of this first season? So the Rangers lead the NHL right now. The Canadians are in second. Okay. And we currently sit in an ugly 22nd place. The Penguins are 2 points above us, but we have 2 games in hand for that last wildcard spot. 18, 17, and 6. 2.8 goals for per game, which is one of the lowest in the league. Great. And 3.17 goals against per game, which is more in the middle. So slow, these menus. So more in the middle, but still pretty high. All right, power play. Let's see this one. Woo! 11.2%! The third lowest in the league, and the lowest I think I've ever seen through a halfway point in a franchise mode. Like we're usually expecting like 20% plus, but for these guys I would have taken 15. 11.2%. So the power play is going to change. That's one thing. And the penalty kill at 79.8 is actually not even the worst in the league. Not even bottom 5, but it is bottom 10. I think that's ninth worst. So the special teams aren't great. We could definitely benefit from someone being added to this team. But for a fringe team like this, I don't want to spend value to bring players in. Our best player is on pace for 58 points. Is that not embarrassing? That our best player is on pace for 58 points to lead our team in points? No. No. I can't wait to read the suggestions. Brock Nelson, 27. Palmieri, by the way, he's the guy. 15 goals. On pace for 30 goals. 15 goals, 29 points from Kyle Palmieri. 13 goals, 27 points from Brock Nelson. 26 points from Duclair and Barzal. So Duclair woke up. Negative 11 from Matthew Barzal. Bo Horvat, 25 points in 40 games. On pace for a 50-point season. Pajot, 24. Dobson, 22. At least there's that. Cizikas is on pace for 40 points. While Saiplikov has 19 points, is a negative 14. Anders Lee, 18 and 33, okay. Romanov, 14 points, negative 2. Gauthier, 12 points in 29 games. Pollock, 12, negative 2. Pellick, 8, negative 4. McLean, 8, negative 3. Fashing, 8 in 23 games. Holmstrom, 6 in 19 games. Bolzuk, 5 points, plus 4. Engvall, 4 points, plus 1 in 20 games. Mayfield, 3 points, plus 2. And goaltending, Sorokin is 13, 10, and 4 with 2 shutouts, 907 save percentage, and 2.91 goals against average, while Simeon Varlamov is 5, 9, and 3. No shutouts, 893 save percentage, 3.35 goals against average. Wow. Just to show you around the NHL, if you're curious, how are things looking in the league? 74 points from Nathan McKinnon. Yeah, he'll be on pace for over 140. That's fine. And goalies, how's goaltending around the league? Are we really that bad? At minimum 20 games played, let's say. So Shesterkin, 92 overall, 926 save percentage. Hellebuck, 93 overall, 921 save percentage. But us with 90 overall Sorokins, me junk. Meanwhile, Darcy Kemper is going to have a 913. Yeah, now EA is just laughing at me. Now EA is just laughing it up. Laugh it up, EA. Laugh it up. I don't know. So first things first, the coaching staff. Are we changing the coaching staff? Does this guy just have to go? Is Tim Hale the problem, even if he's A-rated? That's a meeting available. What are you going to say in a meeting? Let's have a meeting. Let's have a meeting with Tim Hale. Hey, how are you? Hey, what do you have in your mind? How about wake up? What's the game plan? What do you have in mind? How about give me something more than a 36-win pace? Preferred lines, ice time allocation, coaching style. No, tells me nothing. 50-50, very convincing for preferred lines and ice time allocation. So we could think about that next episode if we want. Ice time allocation, etc. Okay, if you'd like, we can consider that. Okay, what else? View contracts. Is Noah Dobson still on $13 million? What's his interest in the organization now? All expiring. Noah Dobson, let's see it. Organizational interest, I think it's as high as before, if not higher. Still wants 8.7, still wants... now he wants 13.9. He wanted 13.05, I think, before for 8 years. Now he wants 13.9. So, definitely like 1 year to stay as an RFA on Noah Dobson. There's no way. We're going to qualify him and sign him on July 1st. There's no way we can extend him. Brock Nelson, however, what does he want? 5.35 for 3 years. Always the same demand. If I gave him some sort of modified no-trade clause and brought him down money-wise, we could probably do 3 years at 4.5 with a modified no-trade clause. Ridiculous. Romanov, how we doing? No one if these guys don't want to be here, I know we want to take real life into consideration, but if the NHL 25 version of them don't want to be here, then why should I force that? Palmieri's making $5 million. He wants 3.8 now. Okay, that's much more doable. Much more doable on Kyle Palmieri. And Saiplikov, who's been a bit of a letdown, he wants just $1 million. Okay. Now what I definitely want to see to close off the episode will be the trade blocks around the NHL. I'm not sure what the episode length is at right now, but I usually want to aim for like between 45 and 50, 55 minutes. This one's probably over an hour. In the future, we'll try to be a little bit shorter. A little less to do when this team isn't actually an embarrassment to the sport of hockey. There you go. Cole Eiserman's up to a 77 overall. Do we sign him? Well, do we bring him up to the NHL? So let's start looking through the trade blocks in the NHL, sorting by overall. So Brock McGinn on the trade block for the Anaheim Ducks. All right, Fabian Lysell in Boston. Letourneau also on the block in Boston. Clegg, not much in Buffalo. Calgary, Tenorti. Carolina, Nikishin on the block. Really, all right. Nikishin, 79 overall, 23 with his medium league potential. We were talking about prospects for this team. Nadeau, Blake, Nikishin, all guys on the block. But what kind of value would we send back? Chicago Blackhawks, nobody. Colorado, Olsen, Cry. Columbus, nobody. Dallas, Bichelle, Christian Kyrou. Okay. Detroit, JT Compher, Andrew Kopp, Olimata, Sherratt, Hall, Mott. Okay. Edmonton Oilers, Adam Henriques on the block. 83 overall. Let's go. Florida Panthers, not much for the reigning Stanley Cup winners. Phil Danault on the block in LA. Modified no trade clause. So would be open to coming to the Islanders. Tradable teams. Yes, he would be open to the Islanders. Even Trevor Moore, 85 overall. 28 points for him. But we need some goals on this team. We need goals. Minnesota Wild, Spurgeon, Goudreau, and Boyd. Montreal Canadiens, nobody still. That's a surprise. Nashville. So here are some prospects in Nashville. Wow. Kemel, Sveshkov, Edstrom, Wood. Wow. Those are some very nice options for us if we were to say we're going prospect route. But again, what's the value? But I love these options from Nashville. If there's a trade, it's probably with Nashville. New Jersey has Nosin, Villain. Okay, Villain. Trouba on the block with the Rangers. I wonder if he would come here. EJ Emery, Offman, Zach Jones. Ottawa Senators have David Perron on the block. Philadelphia, Johnson, Shattenkirk, Risto, and Delorier. Pittsburgh, Raquel, Bunting, Pedersen, Hayes, Grzelcyk, Eller. Lots of names for the Penguins on their block. San Jose, nobody. Seattle, nobody. St. Louis, Zach Dean. Tampa Bay Lightning, not much here. Toronto Maple Leafs, not much there either. Utah Hockey Club, Kelly Yamamoto, maybe. Vancouver, Aturatu's on the block. There he is. Channel favorite, Data 72 Hall of Fame nominee. McNabb, White Cloud, Hutton, and a few other pieces in Vegas. Washington, TVR. And Winnipeg, Hinola, Chibrikov, Chaz Lucius, Braden Yeager, of course. Braden Yeager, 25 goals down in the juniors. Okay. Frey, is that how you pronounce it? Frey, 65 overall, medium top 4D. All right, so then if we are making trades, here's the trade value that we have on our side. All of our draft picks still, keep that in mind. And then the trade value looks like this. Mayfield has more value than you would think, actually. Cizikas has been a great piece. I don't know if I want to move him. I don't think I do. Engvall's woken up a little bit. Does he have value now in the eyes of other teams? I don't know. So there are the trade values. All right, so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the first half of year one here on Long Island. Do you think it was going to be easy? Well, we're 18, 17, and 6 through the first 41 games. I don't think those goals were met either, so don't even need to really worry about those. And by the way, who's still sitting around here in free agency? If you're curious about that, sorting by overall, no one too interesting, I don't think. Yeah, 76 overalls. So no one that really would make me think we got to bring them in. Maybe Matt Martin. I don't know if I looked at him. Veteran Peace Force. We can say he's been on a PTO this whole time, maybe. No, he's in New Jersey. What? He's in New Jersey. Oh, that's brutal. Brutal. Do we think maybe even Yaroslav Halak? Is he also signed? No, he's not. So Halak could still be signed if we want to get that third goalie in. We didn't get the third goalie. We luckily didn't have any goalie injuries, but if we needed a third goalie, Halak could be that guy. So, ladies and gentlemen, I won't draw it out any further. You've seen the episode. A lot happened. We're still somewhat alive with a record just above 500. But with our leading point scorer on pace for 58 points, we would need goals on this team. So leave me your suggestions down here on YouTube or over on the Discord server, link in the description. Get your thoughts in for the next episode. Usually you have about 3 or 4 days before the next episode gets recorded, so get your thoughts in ASAP. What needs to change for this lineup? Are there any trade targets? Are we buyers? Are we sellers? Are we status quo until the trade deadline? What's your plan here at the halfway point? When is it too far gone? Looking forward to reading all of that down here on YouTube or over in the Discord server. Thanks everybody for watching. Leave a like for my sanity and subscribe if you haven't already to be made aware of all of our uploads here on the channel. NHL 25 franchise modes, career simulations, guides, tips, and all that much more here in the channel. This is the place for you. We'd love to have you join the team of AGMs. As you see, we need everyone to contribute for a team like this. Looking forward to reading your comments and seeing you once again in the next one. Let's go Islanders, and let's figure out a clear plan moving forward.